Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Some dumb guy here. You know, just this morning, I'm online and I'm placing an order with deep discount, taking advantage of one of their 15% off discount sales. I submit the order. An hour, 2 hours later, I get a knock on my door. I open my door. It's the Ups man. The Ups man hands me a package. Guess who it came from? Deep discount. And mascot, some dumb kitty, she's curious about my box. So, I know in my last unboxing video, on my closing, I mentioned that I thought I had a package coming. And as I was saying that, I had second thoughts. I doubted myself. No, I just got that package and I did the unboxing for it somewhere here. I don't have anything left. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And then I got a text this morning saying, hey, 15% off, 2 titles or more. I'm like, all right, great. So I go on there and I'm pulling titles off my wish list, add them to my cart, check out, boom. And again, 2 hours later, this shows up. Well, I'm like, hey. So I log onto my account, go into my order history, and sure enough, titles. Well, now I'm really confused because things look very familiar. So I look at the order I just placed, and for whatever reason, the titles that I ordered from my wish list here never came out of my wish list. So ultimately, I ended up duplicating a portion of it. So I'm like getting there frantically, like, hey, can you cancel this order, please? And they're like, what's going on? Oh, we'll try, but I'm sorry to hear you want to cancel. I'm like, no. I'm going to place another order. I want to take advantage of the sale. But, I duplicated some titles because they didn't come out of my wish list when I added them from my wish list to my cart, like most websites do. I love these guys, really, but their website's a little bit antiquated in some respects. They don't disappear from the wish list once you add them to the cart and check out. They're still there. You got to manually go in and So anyway, they get back to me. So, okay, yep, we were successful in canceling the order. So, okay, I go back and I delete all those and then poop. Add new titles in their place instead. So, but now that we got, I figure, you know what? Why not we do another unboxing? Because there's going to be more stuff coming. I might have something coming from Amazon still. I'm not sure. I definitely have another deep discount order in transit, but that'll probably be a good 8 or 9 days before it arrives. So this one is it's got a decent number of titles in it, so I figured, let's get it out of the way, and so this stuff doesn't build up. Depending on how long it takes me to ramble through all this, I might end up having to split this into 2 parts. It's not huge, but I go long. Hey, righty, we're going to start with an antiquated format called DVD, which I've covered a little bit here on this channel prior. This has been a title of fascination for me for a very long time when I learned of it. For those of you who have seen Airplane, ! You may be aware or not that Airplane is actually technically a remake of an older film from 1957. Storyline, I understand a lot of the drama or dialogue is taken from that and remade, but the original version was a serious film, not a slapstick comedy. So I learned of the original title, I tracked it down, I found it. It's only available on DVD, unfortunately, but the fascination on this one is too strong to resist. So what we have is a digital film called 0 Hour! The adventure that gave liftoff to Airplane. So we have a 1957 black and white film starring people I've never heard of. But hey, fish or lamb chops. A wrong dinner selection gives food poisoning to the pilot and first officer of Flight 714. And that could mean doom for everyone on board in 0 Hour, the high-flying film based on a story by Arthur Haley, and later spoofed in the comedy Airplane. Dana Andrews portrays a passenger who must overcome the trauma of his wartime experiences to guide the plane. His reaction when asked if he can fly the DC-4? No, not a chance. Sterling Hayden plays the flight control jockey, talking Andrews through a bumpy skies. Flying is no different than riding a bicycle, he snaps. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Kitty kitty. And gridiron great Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch is the stricken pilot. Clear the landing field and don't eat the fish. The original airplane might be fun. I think that's going to call for a back-to-back binge viewing because how could you not? Next up, a rarity on my channel and in some very unusual and unappealing packaging, we've got one of those similar type things here for music. We call these a compact disc. Remember these guys? This is the soundtrack for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I love Oh Brother, for Where Art Thou? I love the music from this film. It's catchy. And catchy music gets stuck in our heads. Well, at work, in commuting, now I want to have it and listen to it whenever. Not here. Here. Next up, Blu-ray slipcover. Was this a 2024 release? Or did this come released in 2025? It's listed in 2024, the copyright date. But I don't remember if this came out this year or last. I'm going to say it's 2024. I think this was in my ranking video. But it is the very wacky action flick Killer's Game, which I keep remembering as the Killing Game in my head. And this is some completely off-the-walls bonkers nonsense, but a really fun, exciting action film. Each one starring Dave Bautista and Sofia Boutella. And we also have some Ben Kingsley in here somewhere. All right, yonder. And, oh, yeah, here. I flipped it around. I thought I was looking. I believe this is Pommencleef from Guardians of the Galaxy fame. And I recognize the face. I do not know the name. And he's not listed here anywhere. So I dug this movie. Been watching it on my watch list for a decent price. Blu-ray came up solidly. I rejected the 4K, as my regular viewers will know. We're putting the brakes on new 4K releases and only going with upgrades of older films. Ooh. I think I hear Sally the possum outside. I'm going to take a peek real quick. Okay, yep, that was Sally. She was outside the front door crunching away on some cat food. Blu-ray, Blind Buy. I remember when this movie came out, 1996. I had only ever heard the name of this actor. I had never actually seen him in anything. I'd only heard his name referenced once, and that happened to be in Demolition Man. Didn't know who he was, didn't know anything about what he was about, but when this movie came out, I experienced a moment of what I call the title bias. So I've discussed that on my channel before. I don't know why, but I have this thing where titles rub me the wrong way sometimes, and I reject the entire possibility of watching the film on that, and I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I understand like a title can be completely ridiculous. It doesn't always work out to be the case. Sometimes it's just something that's like, what is that? In this case, it was Rumble in the Bronx from Jackie Chan. All these years later, I've still never seen it, but this was the first film I was ever consciously aware of existing because I remember the trailers for it, and I don't know if this is like his first American film or if it's just one of his Chinese films that happens to take place in New York-ish. I know nothing, but I came across this one on Groove not too long ago, and I've been monitoring it. It's often out of stock, looking for a good price, and while I was shopping on deep discount, and I've been doing a lot of more price comparisons between Groove Amazon and deep discount, I'm finding they're getting a lot more competitive with their pricing, particularly with older releases. Not always so much the new ones, but I'm making a more concerted effort to look at them before I commit to purchasing elsewhere. They're doing pretty well, and I advise all you collectors to look at them more closely if you're not already, because sometimes I'm seeing a difference of several dollars, and if you catch them on one of their 15% off in stock items, you know, that can add up to be a decent chunk of change off of your purchase price as well. So it's definitely something that I would recommend looking at, because I'm saving some good money now all of a sudden. This next one, I think Sally just knocked over her food dish. This one is not a blind buy. I have seen this once, and it was probably in the late 80s, I'm guessing, maybe around 90. The film came out in 87. It's an old Orion picture. It's a bit of a creep fest, if memory serves. I caught this one on TV, promptly forgot about it. At one point, the title popped into my head, some reminder, some imagery or something to that effect. And I went looking, and I found it on Amazon, and I've been watching it for a while, keeping it on my wish list. And again, go shopping on deepdiscount.com, and I start just plugging in random titles from my Amazon wish list and adding them to my deep discount list. And this one came in under the wire price-wise. So here we are again. This is Lady in White. I don't want to say anything really about this film, because you either know it or you don't. And it's a murder mystery whodunit, but there's also supernatural ghost element as well, which is actually stated right here on a review quote on the front cover here. A ghost story that truly haunts. This one is going to scare you senseless. Second line, not so much. First line, yes. This is very much, and it says here in the opening line of the synopsis, in the fine tradition of classic horror and suspense films. I would absolutely say that's the case. So we are 4 movies and 1 CD in. We're pulling up number 5 and see what we have here. Another one that I had seen as a child on TV. And Sally's really going to town out there. This is a sci-fi remake. I have never seen the original. This one is from 1986. I do recall this being somewhat corny-ish, from what I can recall from my childhood brain. This is the remake Invaders from Mars. The Martians, man, they're not good people. They're always coming after us. There's no place on Earth to hide. It's almost like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of stylistic film, I think. Which I didn't even know that film really existed, I think, when I watched this one originally. There we go, a little bit of focus. Now, this is like, if I remember correctly, this is for the childhood star of this movie. This is like out behind his backyard or something, I think, when the ship is coming. Maybe. Tobe Hooper film. How about that? Hooper! Hooper! I can't hear the name Tobe Hooper without thinking of Jaws. It's ingrained in the head. Let's see what we got here. This is coming up next, Blu-ray from late last year, I believe. This was a little independent film, 2024. Yeah, this was in my review ranking video. This is one of the ones I accidentally duplicated today and got fixed. A terrifying, thrilling take on The Odyssey, starring Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche. We have The Return. Very well-made film. Very atmospheric. But again, very independent, artsy feel that doesn't always scream rewatchability, unfortunately, to even us big film fans. So I have somebody I want to introduce this film to, and I think that was largely my deciding factor in purchasing that. I think we're going to call it quits after this one, which will leave us 6 left. This is the second duplication. I'll harken back to a previous unboxing and episode of Some Dumb Watch where I purchased this season of television off of Amazon, only to dive into it, watching it, and discovering that some vendor on Amazon sold me a bootleg, which I promptly got refunded when I reported it. I had been watching the title again on my Amazon watch list, wish list, whatever, my cart, looking for a decent price. Didn't come. And all of a sudden, deep discount. Price dropped dramatically. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to get it. And I got the extra 15% discount. So I am replacing my bootleg of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Season 1. Unknown if there's a Season 2 coming, one way or the other. But at least this one won't take any extra space in the library because it's already technically there. I will get a free case out of it. I think this is a 2 or 3 disc case, and I can repurpose that. I think even the one that I bought, the bootleg, had a clear case if memory serves. That was my first red flag. Second red flag was I didn't get a slipcover. And third red flag, you pop open this thing as a DVD-R. And I was like, okay. And then, of course, for anybody who has any bootleg experience, the subtitles are always a tell. They just never look right, and they're always poorly done. So we're going to call it quits for this episode. We're going to set this aside. I'm going to resume filming and then break this in half so we're not completely blowing things away for length here. So thank you for joining me. Have you seen any of these titles? Do you own any of these titles? Do you plan on buying any of these titles? Do you have any questions about these titles? The word box, it likes your words. It likes to be filled. Help the word box become. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching again. See you later.